everybody, welcome back to Just Railroad. My name's Charlie, and we're picking up right back where we left off with this VW transformer. Now off camera, I went on ahead and took this part out. Just undid those four posts right here. I just drilled the backs of them. Now, you wouldn't necessarily have to do this, but I just went on ahead and did it, mainly so I could get this out so I could solder to it better without it being up against this case. I really don't see any sense in taking these loose because of how well they're attached into the bottom here. They're soldered and fixed into place. Really no benefit to removing all that, so we're just going to leave it in there, and then I can just kind of clean around it, which is, fine. But I think we're going to go ahead and tackle these. This system right here. Now this is the direction and whistle control. And as you can see here, there's a rivet. Got a washer at the end of that rivet's right there. And then looking up inside of here, you can see all that green corrosion. Now I'm going to go ahead and take this thing apart so I can clean it. Which is not a bad idea to do that because see how sticky that is? It's sticky, these are dirty. The whistle's not going to want to blow right if those are messed up. Same thing goes for this side, sticky and dirty. Now you could probably set down with some contact cleaner and get it up under these contacts. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to bend the contacts just a little bit more, give them a little bit more springiness for to make better connections. And then we'll go ahead and put the diodes on these. Take the rectifier discs off, put diodes. And these are kind of rough, got a lot of corrosion on them. I'm not really too worried about it though. We're going to leave all this alone. None of this is going to be messed with. And I think this is some kind of a resistor wire. I think. I don't know that for sure, but I think it has something to do with the whistle control. This wire. It's all wadded up here. But I'm going to go ahead, I guess, and drill these rivets out. And pull this whole system off. You can drill a hole in here and tap it for a screw. I got brand new rivets, but I am going to try something. I do have a mini lathe. I'm going to see if I can drill a hole all the way through it and just put one long screw. I'm going to try that. And if that don't work, I'll use one of my new ones, but I'm going to use one of these old ones to see if I can do that. Okay. I didn't do this to my ZW that I fixed because I didn't think that I didn't know they made replacement rivets. So I was terrified I was going to tear my rivets up, and there I'd be. So I didn't mess with it. But on this one, I've got some replacement rivets, so I'm not too worried about it. And if you have to, you can remove this. And I might end up doing it. I don't know. Just to put this back, because that's going to be in my way to be able to brad that rivet over. So I might end up taking that off, and then I can put that back with just some simple pop rivets. That's not a big deal. But yeah, I might do that. I might just take that off too. Having kind of a difficult time getting this thing off. Scared I'm going to tear it up too. That ain't helping me none. Here, I'm going to go ahead and take this off. For now. Okay. This is a rectifier disc. This is what makes your whistles blow. I don't really know how these things work, but it somehow or another it works. It makes the whistle blow. So some kind of special something. I don't really know what that is. Looks like copper, and on this side it has like a silvery looking substance. I'm not sure. Right now I'm just trying to get everything stripped back because I want to take this backing piece off so I can get something around this rivet where I can kind of support this back so I can tap the top of it through this Bakelite piece. I don't want to damage any of these parts. I just want to get that rivet out. So I'm just trying to get it apart so I can do that. I'm doing more than I want to. I didn't really want to get into it this deep, but since things are not looking and being like I thought they'd be, I'm having to. I don't know if this is normal solder or something special. Okay. Right. Now I'm going to drill these two rivets out. Like I said, I wasn't really wanting to do this, but since it's so complex, and I want to be able to drive that rivet out without damaging anything, so I got to do it this way. But I'm pretty sure I can put 2 pipe rivets in that. It'll be just fine. Okay. There's our piece. Now, I don't really know how I can brace this, but at least I can actually get on it now and turn it. I couldn't do that before. Alright, so I got the rivets out of this piece. Now I just got to try to get the rivet out of this again. If I wasn't scared I'd destroy it, I would just drill it on out. But I don't want to really mess this up. I want to do some experimenting with it. Just wanting to try to get it out in one piece. I drilled it just a little, see if that helped. And one thing, there's no danger of it ever falling off, that's for sure. New plan of attack. Oh yeah, it did it. That weakened it. Okay. There we go, one ruined rivet. But yeah, I do have new of these. That was surprisingly a challenge, and I know why. It was still mushroomed over on the end slightly. But here's our pieces. Here's that thing. This wasn't too bad, but it could still stand a good cleaning. It's got a lot of goop and gunk on it. I'll probably put these in the ultrasonic cleaner and then give them a polish. I did finally get me a fiberglass pencil. So now I can actually clean this stuff up. Here's the spring that does the flipping. That. And here's this piece. You can see how dirty these contacts are. It was definitely needing this, so I did the right thing. Now I'm going to do the other side. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and replace these rollers. I've already got one out. Figure I'll show you how to do it on this one. So you just basically, you want to just crush it up. Break it off little pieces. They're real soft because they're made out of graphite. So they just crumble. There we go. Then you just take your side cutters, get it in there, and snap it off. You got one piece of the rivet. Just like that. That's ready for a new roller. Now these rollers, the reproduction ones, I think they make brass ones, replacement brass ones, so they don't ever wear out. I don't really like that though. After what I've seen can happen, that field being burned, this is your only defense between burning that field up. So if this is brass, it's going to just be welding the thing to that copper winding. At least that's what I think. I could be wrong. But they come with a new rivet. You can see I kind of spread that a little bit whenever I did the thing. So I'm actually going to bend that back before I do that rivet. Luckily it's just made out of copper though. We just don't want it to make contact. That feels good. Okay. Now, I've heard people on other videos, and by the way, I would suggest watching more videos than mine before you do this. I've watched a bunch of people do this, so I would watch more videos than mine. But I've heard people say they can use vice grips like this, and I've never tried it, but I figured we'd give it a try. So let's see if that works. Nope, that does not work. Okay. So we're going to do it the way I do it. I usually do this on the vise, but I can't really get the camera on the vise, so we're going to do it here. This is just a piece of aluminum, but it's still going to be hard enough. Just a little ball peen hammer. I'm just going to tap it. Like that. You can see that's peened that rivet over just enough where it no longer wants to come out. It don't take much. You just need enough to hold that rivet in place. You don't want to go too much. You want that roller to spin. Alright, I got both rollers replaced on these. Now these I'm not going to mess with because they are in really good shape. They're not wore. They got a few chips missing out of them. But they're not bad enough to replace. They're almost the same size as those new ones. And this is technically the accessory side. And for what I'm going to be using this transformer for, I'm not even going to probably even be using these. So, what I've done here is plenty. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and just pop this out. It's just held on with like some glue, but it's so old it just comes out. So I can clean in here really good. I'm going to try to polish that nickel up a little bit, make that shine again like chrome. But I'm getting ready to wash this and that pile of parts right there, and we'll see what we got. Alright, so I got all the little pieces cleaned up. I think it looks pretty good. It does need a little bit of polishing. It's got some scratches on it, but overall it looks pretty good. Here's the badge. I wasn't able to do much for this because of how eat up it is, corroded. I kind of went after it with a little bit of a SOS pad, just lightly. And in fact, it kind of took the nickel plating off in some spots. You can see the copper. So, you know, it's not going to be perfect, but I kind of knew that going into it because of how chipped up it was and corroded it was. But I think it looks a lot better. It'll definitely looks pretty good. You can get these new. And if I'd have been thinking when I was ordering all this stuff, I would have got me one or two, but I didn't. So that original one will have to do for now. So I figure what I'm going to do for the rest of this video is we're simply going to clean the core up. I've already heat shrinked the original things just to help them because these were a little brittle. They were starting to crack and crumble apart. The other ones that were on this core, on the original core, were in a lot better shape than this, but I couldn't get them off for some reason. I just couldn't get them to slide off. They kept kinking and binding and just messing up. So I just slid some heat shrink over them on the color sides, and then on the dark side I just put a little piece. You can still see the original woven cover right there, but I think it'll be fine. If it's a little exposed, it's not really cracked open to the wire. It's just the color's coming off of it. So I think this is ready to go like it is. I just need to clean it. But that's what I'm going to do in this rest of this video. Is we're going to clean. I'm probably going to reassemble these. Clean this. Clean the little contacts. Clean these little things too. Clean them up. Put all this stuff back together. At least this stuff. And then the next video, hopefully I'll have my circuit breaker. And I can put the circuit breaker in. Put this whole mess back together. Reassemble it. Test it. And that'll be the end of this transformer for now. It'll be ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this core. I've already cleaned one side of it. Just trying to get an idea of how difficult it will be or how clean I can actually make it. Here's the clean side. I think it looks pretty good. I did get me a fiberglass pencil too, so that helps. As you can see, all the carbon is caked up in these fields. Here's my little fiberglass pencil. Now I'm not going to use this directly on this because it'll just cake the pencil up, mess it up. So we need to get this off. And what I found worked the best was this little nylon brush and a little bit of electric contact cleaner. But I'm going to try the brush and not the contact cleaner because the contact cleaner made a mess. So I'm just wanting to see what the brush does on its own, and then we'll go from there. Well, that kind of got it, but it did spread carbon dust everywhere. So I'm going to actually take some contact cleaner on a paper towel and then wipe it down. I got this at the parts store, automotive parts store. But you could probably get this at Walmart, a few other places. Stuff is very strong. And it cleans it right up though. I think when they done this at the factory, they took it to a big wire brush, because you can actually see where it like burnt this Bakelite over here, and it kind of, you can see the brush marks on this part right here. So I forgot to readjust my camera, so now you can actually see over top of what I'm doing instead of at an angle. So it looks like, for the most part, I got all that carbon off of there, I think. So now we can just hit it with our fiberglass pencil. I'm also going to run it over this too, because this is where the wheels go to get the max voltage. I got this off of eBay with a pack of replacement inserts, but I don't think the replacement inserts are actually fiberglass. I think they're nylon. I think I got cheated. So I'm not too happy about that, but we'll see how long this thing lasts. There's a little bit of a before and after. You can kind of see how it's gotten rid of that blackness that was on here. Now it's just where the roller has actually made contact. That's all that's left. And I could just do this, but I'm just doing the whole thing.
5 minutes later.
Okay, I got all that off. I'm going to hit it with some more contact cleaner and a paper towel again, just to get the fiberglass off. I think that's pretty good. I think I got that cleaned. Looks good to me. Got all the carbon out of it and everything. So this is ready to go back. Just got to put it somewhere where I won't bend these wires too much, because they will break, and I will not be a happy person when that happens. Okay, now we're going to clean all this stuff up. These little contacts and then the plates. Basically how these work, you have like an in-between point. It might be like this, I'm not sure. Then it works back and forth. Makes contact with these little things. I think that's how it works. One makes contact here and here. Flip it, then this one makes contact there and there. So this one makes contact with these two, and then one of these makes contact with one of those. But either way you go, they're really dirty. They need a good cleaning. Let's see what alcohol does to this stuff. It probably is grease of some sort that they used. You could use carbon conductive grease when you put it back together. I'm not going to do that. Mainly because I don't have any, but also because I don't really think it's necessary. Okay, I think we got that good enough to wipe down or to scrub down with the thing. And I'm going to give these a little bit of a bend when I put it back together. Just to help it make better contact. Yeah, I got them all wiped down. You see how green it turned that? I don't know if that's grease or what that is. I'm use our little pencil now to clean these. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. I think that looks pretty good too. I'm going to go ahead and bend these now while I'm thinking about it. Just a little bit of a tweak. Not like that. That's plenty. That'll give it a little bit more spring. I'm going to go ahead and clean these other two parts up, and then we can start the reassembly process for these. Okay, we're going to go ahead and put this back together now. Got both sets of these cleaned. So this is the spring. And these springs go like this. Yes, this does have some rust on it. They go like this. They make a Y. And then they slide up in here. Like that. Stick through like that. And I'm going to take my new rivet. Stick that through there. Like that. Okay. Now you notice there's two little bump outs on this. Okay, there's also two little bump outs or two little holes for those bump outs. But this is all universal parts, so you could put this in backwards. So I'm just going to set that in there for now because I'm not really sure which way it goes. But that's right. These two little ones go to these two big ones. This one over here goes to these two. Now, there's a little washer that goes on this. And I did attack this with the drill bit, but I think it's still okay. Now it's a rivet head. You could just brad this over. I've actually got a tool. I actually work on trucks and stuff, so this is something that I got doing vent windows. It's a vent window rivet tool. And just so happens these rivets are the same exact size as vent window rivets. But you can get these out of the truck book. You can probably also get them off of eBay. But this has a dimple inside of it that fits the head of that rivet. And then it has a cup. And it just curves that rivet out. Since these are brass, this works really, really well. But I'm going to go ahead and brad this one over. It's just simply lay this on a flat, hard surface. Put this on there. Hit with a hammer. That's really all it is. So I'm going to take care of this real quick. Okay, so I got that together. Like I said, just real simple. Brad that rivet over. Here's the other one. Already got both of them done. So now there is a way these go. They're backwards from each other. So this would be your direction control in the transformer, which it's not on this. Well, yeah, it is. That's right. The one that doesn't have anything touching contacts is your direction control, and all it does is kill power. So that's your direction control. So this would be, looking at the case, this would be the back of the transformer. Same thing goes for this one. So these would both be like this in the transformer. So let's see. It's the circuit breaker side. This is non-circuit breaker side. So let's see now. Looks like to me, looking at the wires, this one is the circuit breaker side. So that would be, this one needs to go over here. Okay. We can reinstall that. It just goes in a notch right there. Okay. Now, pop rivets, I'm going to put a pop rivet through this way because you can't come through this way or this will hit. Okay. I'm just going to get them started and then I'll snap them. Okay. And you could probably use a screw, flathead screw, but it'd have to be pretty flat to fit in between there. See that clearance? There's not a lot of clearance there. Ain't much clearance for a rivet, but it works. It's just enough. Okay, so these are back together now. They're not hooked to anything, but they're back together. This would be your transformer side, one of your transformers. This would be one of your transformers wires, these two. And then this, of course, comes down here, hooks into your stud diode, which I am going to go ahead and install right now. I'm going to go ahead and get this side put on, and then we'll get both of these stud diodes put in. And then this whole assembly here will be set to the side, and it will be ready to be reinstalled in the next video. Okay, we got both of those on. I'm going to go ahead and hook up the diodes, and I do remember now where these things here go. They go right down here in this bottom hole. This one was loose, I think. This one was still soldered. So I'll be putting those back in a minute too, but we're going to go ahead and get this fixed. Then we'll go ahead and get this diode installed. I can't find a good place to get these diodes that's not outrageously priced. And that's what a lot of people are. They're outrageously priced. I think these are way too much money for what they are. On eBay, they're like over $8. I just don't see that. And then that's not counting the shipping that you got to pay. So you're giving $8 plus $5 more shipping, which if you get two, you know, it'd be over 20-something bucks just for two little diodes. And I just don't see it. I do not see that money. That's why I'm just buying these kits. The kit's a little bit more money, but I mean $20 for two diodes versus $40 for a kit with a plug, rollers, circuit breaker, extra wire, terminal plugs, all this other stuff that you're getting. $20 for these is just way too much money. Okay, so it looks like this is a very loose fitting 9, but a 11/32 won't fit it. And this is a very loose fitting 7/16. So we're just going to give them a snug. Doesn't have to be nothing crazy tight, just as long as it works. Of course, we want to get it tight enough to where the vibration of the transformer doesn't make it come loose. Okay. I think that's good. I don't know if you could put a higher amp rating one of these in and it still work the same. But you can get like 50 amps, a couple of them for like $8 or $9, free shipping. But you know, I don't know if those would work the same or not. Okay, there's that done. Soldered up good. Nice and solid connection. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and get this bottom wire put back now before we continue. And I'm going to put a little flux on this just because it wasn't soldered good before, so maybe a little flux will help it. Lay it up on a little block of wood. That way my heat won't go away. Get a little bit more heat into it that way. Okay, I think that actually worked. I think that was wadded up like this in a little bundle. There's one side. I'm going to go ahead and fix this other side up, and then this will probably be the end of this video, honestly, because I really can't do anything else without that breaker. So, hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one, and hopefully on the next one we'll have this transformer going back together even more. We did make some good progress on this video. We rebuilt these, or cleaned them anyway. Cleaned them, took them apart, redone them. We installed new diodes, and reattached some wires and cleaned some things. So, and probably done some more, but I can't think of it right now. But thank you all very much for watching the video, and I will see you all on the next one. Bye-bye.